Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And today we have a couple of clickers. So I like to use The Last of Us Zombies to categorize different types of people in E followed by the letter D, or as I call it on my channel, the toxic ritualistic, or the TR for short. These two, they are level 3 severity, which is like a clicker, which basically they're blind, they don't have any empathy. So like within the show slash video game, the fungus like grows out of their eyes and they can't see anything. That's kind of how they are. What you'll also see too is extreme obsession with body and extreme like identification with weight. So I wanted to show that aspect on this little video. I'm to be honest, I'm really tired. I've been working myself to the bone lately. But I wanted to just share this because, yeah, let's observe. I want us to observe the clickers in their natural habitat. Okay, so we're gonna see it.
Their thing without coming in and being like, I totally get it, girly. You don't though.
Oh my
No
God,
matter,
someone bullied you for being too
like,
skinny?
babe,
Oh my
I'm so sorry, but it
God.
really isn't the same.
Oh my God, poor
Poor
thing.
thing. And we don't need to play like trauma Olympics or anything, but we can recognize when it's appropriate to contribute to a conversation versus letting people have the space that they need. Because
100%.
it's just, I can't tell you how many
Letting people have the
times
space they need.
thin friends have come to me to complain about feeling fat, feeling out of control,
Oh.
needing to get back into their workout routine. Oh my God, but I think everyone's beautiful but me. Blah. And I'm like, I hear you when we all suffer under this, but also don't come to a friend who you know
Is
is
bigger than
bigger than
you.
you
Yeah.
to complain about that, because all you're doing is reinforcing for me that you think I'm disgusting and you would never want to look like
But
me.
I'm still beautiful.
But I'm still
But I'm still
beautiful.
beautiful. Go girl, you're beautiful. Like all
Like,
that bull. So
I'm like, quit
I'm
with
just like, you
me.
know what? Here's my size. Go to a go to a flea market in Los Angeles and find me one thing in my size.
Yeah.
Go to any consignment store in Silver Lake, find me something in my size. I will plug two things in LA as a fat person. One is Proud Mary,
Yeah.
an amazing consignment store consignment store in Highland Park. If you're a fat person, go there immediately, especially if you're femme as a fat person. It's great. The other thing too I will recommend is Thick Thrift,
Yeah.
which is the first time I went to a flea market and was like, oh, I get how thin people spend money at flea markets.
Right.
I'm not just trapped in the jewelry section. You mean
Right.
I can have anything from any store? Gobble, gobble,
Yeah,
gobble.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gobbling it up as I do with food because it's okay to be fat. And I just get so frustrated with people using anecdotal evidence of being like, well, I was bullied once by people in my middle school for being too skinny. Okay, cool.
I'm talking about
I'm talking
societal.
about I'm talking about hegemony right now.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
talking about
God.
hegemonic power structures
Sorry.
that mean that when I go to the doctor, I have to look nice.
Yeah.
I have to when I've gone to urgent care and changed clothes first because I'm like, I know if I go in sweatpants, I will not be treated well.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So,
And you'll be treated like you're at fault for whatever issue you're
oh,
having.
yeah,
100% of the time.
yeah, have you thought about losing weight? Yeah, every day since I was 10.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you think I haven't oh, you think I haven't if I
oh,
could just do
oh,
it.
that's a great
Oh
idea.
my God, what the hell? Oh, what? Nobody ever told me that before.
Yeah,
It's time to trauma bond.
Wow. That was beautiful. That was very beautiful, you guys. So as you can see, like a lot of clickers are super unpleasant. And try to keep in mind the empathy piece. So there's a complete lack of empathy. So these types, they do not see thin, especially thin women, as human beings. And that sounds very like, whoa, like you can't just say that. But you have to understand that this is a DIS order. This is a mental illness that these women have. They're trying to normalize being that big. They literally say it's okay to be fat, and then they laugh about it and all this stuff. And there's no empathy for a thin person at all. Zero. Zero, zero, zero. And then for me, looking at them, especially being outside of the issue, this is how severe I used to be. So when I look at them, I'm like, how are we supposed to listen to your version of what society is when you can't even understand your friend? You can't even understand somebody who comes to talk to you about their life, a single person. But we're supposed to believe that you can understand all of society, or we're supposed to trust what you have to say about it. It's pretty wild. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to go ahead and go through it again. And we're going to break it apart piece by piece. I don't know if that music is copyright.
That people
Okay.
have their thing without coming in and being like, I totally get it, girly.
So they want to be able to complain, and they don't want a thin person to be able to complain, basically. And within bingo, which if you're having an issue with what that means, get rid of the O and put an E instead. So within bingo, if you're catching my drift, part of it is a obsession with being a victim. A lot of people don't want to say that out loud because it's very like that type of message is very politicized, or at least it was. But you have to understand that this is kind of outside of that. It's outside of politics. This is a part of the issue. It's a similar thing to somebody on the reductive side being obsessed with success. It's the exact opposite. So I need you to think of it more so along those lines rather than political, because it's not political. But it is an obsession with victimhood and an obsession with the idea that to be fat is the worst thing in society, but also we're so brave and we're so amazing because we're fat in this society where it's the worst thing ever. So you see how you have to like enforce that that is the worst thing ever so that you can be brave. It's like a very indirect brag, which is indicative, or it is involved in all of the toxic ritualistic world. So all of the problems, there's a competitive side, but that's how it shows up in bingo is I'm the biggest victim. I'm the strongest person because I go through the most. And I come out on the other side and I'm still nice and I'm still this and I'm still happy. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't really believe that. I think clickers are really nasty a lot of the time. They're kind of mean. And not always, but a lot of the time they are. Um, Especially these two are, for sure. I would not want to be their friend, like at all. I want to be so clear. I would never be their friend, ever. I would run so fast. You just don't even know. Because I just hear them talk and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are horrible people. That's literally what I think when I hear them. So, but yeah, not every single clicker is that mean all the time. Sometimes there's like these rash reactions that just come up. So that can happen too. But that's not the case with them. They're in a calm situation and they're just bitching a bitch, basically. They're really trying to reinforce each other in their problems. They're trying to enforce their audience in their problems. That's really what this is. It's a big, like, pissing contest about how awful it is to be fat, but we're so amazing because we're fat. So you have to remember there's an illogical quality to the toxic ritualistic. So it doesn't really make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. You have to remember that people communicate emotionally. So their tone is what's more important. They sound confident. They sound like they're funny. They're not actually funny, but they sound like they are. And then they laugh at their own jokes. It's kind of like they sniff their own farts, basically, during this conversation. And that's enough for another zombie to pick up on. And they'll just kind of go with it, basically. So I want you to always be paying attention to their emotions. So how they enforce through emotion.
You don't though.
Oh my
No
God,
matter,
someone bullied you for being too
like,
skinny?
babe,
So that's a very shaming. Look at the face, look at the tone. Shaming a person who's thin, like you should never, ever, ever complain because it's so much worse for us. It's so much. It's almost like they're getting off on it. Like, I mean, think about it. That's how obsessed these two are with it. And then they literally are like, this isn't the trauma Olympics, but it literally is. That's literally what you guys are doing. You're competing. This is competitive. This is like mean girl competitive stuff.
babe,
Oh my
I'm so sorry,
God.
but
I'm shaming you for daring to complain to me when I have it so much worse than you. You see how selfish that is? That is so narcissistic. And when you get severe in the TR, you lose empathy. You're not able to listen to people really. Like your body gets into a survival state, a fight or flight mode. So you can't listen to other people. You can't think about what other people are telling you or like feel other people's emotions at all. It's so bad. It's horrible.
it really isn't the same.
Oh my God, poor
Poor
thing.
thing. And we don't need to play like trauma Olympics or anything.
But you literally are because you have to frame yourself as the biggest victim so that you can continue to bingo. That's the whole point. And it is so foundational that even to this day, when I've been out of it for years, I've been out of it for basically, well, not basically, I haven't bingoed in 5 years. It'll be 6 years in October. So I've been out of it for a while, but I've been especially mentally out of it because there was still like a phase where I was white knuckling it for the first couple years. Or the first, definitely the first year I was white knuckling it. The second year I had stabilized, and the third year I had physical changes due to not being in it anymore. And so it's like having all that shift, even like 5 years down the line, I still have fears of success to this day that are like rooted in this problem. I still have certain physiological responses to dietary shifts because of what I did for years to that incentivize me to think of myself as a failure or think of myself as a victim when I'm not. But the difference is that unlike them, I am much more empathetic and I actually can be aware that I'm not a victim and that I'm not a failure. Like I can feel something and separate it from the reality and I can move forward because I can understand where it came from. Because oftentimes, especially deep in recovery, you can get scared of success still and you have to like challenge that. I would challenge that right away because you have to do it within downsizing. But I have to do it just in life. It's not really about downsizing. I've succeeded at that. So that's not really like up for debate anymore. It's more so about like other aspects of life, like financials, like romantically. I still have a lot of anxieties about that. Or I feel like I'm failing all the time in that. I still, I struggle sometimes with, you know, the introvert cringe part of me. Like I feel like I'm flopping when it comes to speaking and stuff like that. Or I feel like I can't be social enough. I can't be this enough. I can't be that enough. Like it's all of those types of emotions and it's a lot and it can be kind of loud. But it's also like I think a lot of these insecurities I have, they're probably, things that reinforce the problem. They're probably some foundational things of why I went into it in the first place. And I'm really at like the very bottom of what was there. But it's kind of like I'm just going to move forward. And it is scary. It is. But I'm like, no, I'm just moving forward with everything. I'm moving forward with my financial. I'm moving forward with my romantic life. I'm moving forward. I'm just going to keep showing up. And I think as an introvert and as somebody who has struggled with avoidance so much, I've learned that it's just about continuing to show up, even if you don't feel like you're perfect, or even if you feel like you can't do it right. It's like doing it imperfect or not doing it right is what gets it done. And I wouldn't be able to do this if I hadn't done that. But the whole entire point that I'm making is that they absolutely are competing to be the biggest victim. And it's become such a huge foundational belief, especially at a severe level of toxic ritualistic, that they cannot let it go. And I'm so far removed from where they are that it's like the type of stuff that I worry about, it has nothing to do with my weight. But for them, it's all about their weight. And that's recovery. That's why I can sit here and tell you, even if I have a fear of success, that it may be rooted in bingo, I'm not in bingo because it has nothing to do with my weight. You see, for them, it's all about it. That's DIS ordered. Being insecure is not DIS ordered. Making everything about your weight absolutely is.
Thing, but we can recognize when it's appropriate to contribute to a conversation versus letting people have the space that they need, because
100%.
it's
Well, and when would it be appropriate for somebody to talk to you? Because you literally say, don't talk to me about it later within this conversation. So it's like there's just never a time then. I don't see how you're a reciprocal friend. I don't see how you're worth hanging around. I've told you guys so many times, do not tolerate zombie behavior. Don't tolerate it. If somebody treats you horrible, you need to tell them they're treating you horrible. You don't give an excuse because they're fat. Don't ever do that, because that also incentivizes them to stay fat.
just, I can't tell you how many
Letting people have the
times
space they
thin friends have come to me to complain about feeling fat, feeling out of control, needing to get back into their workout routine. Oh my God, but I think everyone's beautiful but me. Blah. And I'm like, I hear you when we all suffer under this, but also don't come to
You hear them, but also don't effing come to me. Do you hear? Do you hear them? I don't think you do. Because the thing too that they don't understand, and this is something that I can understand being on both sides now and looking at it, experiencing it, being on the other side. I almost guarantee you they are constantly complaining about their weight. So when you set the tone in a friendship that that's what you do because you're so obsessed with your body, because it's your entire life basically, in part because you're big, so you can't function as well, and in part because you have a DIS order where you're so obsessed with your identity as a fat person, they go to you to talk about it because you're always talking about it. You're setting a tone. You start to become the person in your friends' lives that, well, we just complain about our bodies together because that's what you do. And if that's all you have to talk about, then there's really nothing else to talk to you about. And they would say, well, I have other stuff. It's like, but you're thinking about it. You're not saying it usually. Usually, what are you saying? You're saying, oh, this doesn't fit right, or oh, this is bad, or no, 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 no. It's just not, you're not really, it's like they don't have a self-awareness anymore. It's sad. It's actually kind of sad. But you don't have an awareness of how you're coming across. And like I said, I struggle with it due to introversion. I struggle. So that's never going to go away completely. but my empathy is so much better now than it was, especially than it was 5 years ago. Oh my God, it's like not even, I can't even, it's crazy. It's like almost like being a completely different person, you know?
To a friend who you know
Is
is
bigger than
bigger than
you.
you
Yeah.
to complain about that because all you're doing is reinforcing for me that you think I'm disgusting and you would never want to look like.
So that is a huge projection. And it has to do with the over identification of body size. So if somebody doesn't want to be the same size, that means they don't want to be you. They don't, which, I mean, it's okay for somebody to not want to be you. I mean, but that's a huge part of it, of the toxic ritualistic world too, is you get into this like hive mind mindset. So it's like every fat person's the same, every thin person's the same. Like you start to think about that and you get into a lot of these, especially within bingo, you get into a lot of like hostile feelings towards thin people. And it's thin versus fat. And you get into this like hostile feeling. I think a lot of times because of jealousy, and then a lot of times because of pedestalization. So like you're also obsessed with thinness, but then you hate it. It's like you glorify it, but then you hate it. And it kind of goes back and forth, and it's really weird. And it's like everything depends on how you feel a thin person has treated you in the moment is very unstable. And they don't really have an awareness. It's like when Taylor Swift made the Scale video, she was the worst, most fat phobic person in the world, according to the zombie horde, especially the fat part of the zombie horde. But when she says what they want to hear, then she's amazing. And I don't think they understand like how much pressure they put on thin people to be a certain way, especially clickers like them. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't be their friend. Just flat out, I wouldn't. I'm not going to be friends with somebody that controlling. I'm just not. So, whatever, you know. I'll be in reality with the rest of the thins, I guess, because I'm not putting up with this and I'm not putting up with you. That's basically what I would say to someone like that.
Me.
But I'm still beautiful.
But I'm still
but I'm
beautiful.
still beautiful.
You're not fat, you're beautiful. Just kidding. I need to make the shirt so bad. I do. I've got to make that one. Would you guys actually get that? I need to make that one. I need to make that one and mean it every size. Those are the two I need to do. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Go, girl, you're beautiful. Like all that bullshit. So I'm just like,
you're not fat, you're beautiful. You know why they hate it so much? Because of the you're not fat. And they identify with it so deeply. So they hate it. They hate it so much. They can't stand it.
I'm like, quit with
I'm just
me.
like, you know what? Here's my size. Go to a flea market in Los Angeles and find me
Superficial.
one thing in my size.
Yeah.
Go to any consignment store in Silver Lake. Find me something in my size.
I go to the thrift store all the time. I found things all the way down. So I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I will say I did do some Christmas shopping for my mom at the thrift store, and it was a little harder. I'm not gonna lie. So I do think there were some slim pickings for bigger women. I'll put it to you that way. But I still found something. So challenge accepted. I still found something. I found a very beautiful purple sweater that I love. And it was pure cotton, too. So it was not plastic either. I love it.
Guys, I will plug two things in in LA as a fat person. One is Proud Mary,
Yeah.
an amazing consignment store in Highland Park. If you're a fat person, go there immediately. Especially if you're femme as a fat person, it's great. The other thing too, I will recommend is Thick Thrift.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I went to a flea market and was like, oh, I get how thin people spend money at flea markets.
Right.
I'm not just trapped in the jewelry section.
Right.
I can have anything from any store gobble, gobble,
Yeah,
gobble.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gobbling it up as I do with food because it's okay to be fat.
Yeah, so they have to promote being fat too. So remember, the zombie horde in general, they want obesity to be normalized. So they always reinforce that. And I just want you to see like how often being obese is reinforced in American society. It's almost every second of every day. So I just have to point it out every time I see it. They'll say that thinness is glorified. It really isn't. It is within very specific niche areas, like being a fitness influencer, for example, which is a whole, I don't know, 1% or something. Like, how many people are fitness influencers in the country? Like, probably almost nobody. The other people that face a lot of pressure to be thin are the rich, because a lot of people in the reductive, they have kind of really astroturfed this idea that to be skinny is to be high class, and they will enforce that fiercely. So that happens like in the corporate world, celebrity culture, that kind of thing, rich people. But and that's real, but if you're not super rich or a celebrity or a CEO or something, I don't think you're getting much pressure to be thin. I really don't. So I'm just saying.
And I just get so frustrated with people using anecdotal evidence of being like, well, I was bullied once by people in my middle school for being too skinny. Okay, cool.
That's valid.
I'm talking about
I'm talking about
I'm talking
societal.
about I'm talking about
Societal based on what? Like, we need to start challenging that. I'm like, who are you listening to, Freely the Banana Girl? What society? Who's telling you every day? I need to hear, like, the example. I need to hear, what was your fat phobic experience of today? That's what I want. I want fat activists to get on here and start saying, this is the fat phobic thing that happened to me today. Because I was huge forever. I had a few experiences, but literally four in like 10 years, especially in the 2010s when like so many people were big, anyways. And I was living in LA. So, I mean, in the South, I don't think it's ever happened. Ever. But people aren't as shallow in the South as they are in Southern California. I mean, that's not really saying much. Southern California is extremely shallow, you know? I think pretty much everywhere wouldn't be as shallow as there. And even there, it was like 4 times. Like, if their definition of a fat phobic event is somebody telling them that they feel like they need to shape up or something for themselves, honey, bye. That didn't even happen to you. Let's get to what actually happened to you. Let's talk about like a fat phobic experience that you are actually having. Somebody else talking about their own body, it has nothing to do with you. So no, that doesn't count.
hegemony right now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about hegemonic power structures that mean that when I go to the doctor, I have to look nice.
Yeah.
I have to when I've gone to urgent care and changed clothes first because I'm like, I know if I go in sweatpants, I will not be treated well.
Yeah.
So,
And you'll be treated like you.
Do you have an empirical study, or is that also an anecdote? I mean, you can't say that an anecdote doesn't matter at all when a thin person has it, but that it matters when you do. That's like actually, again, a little bit dehumanizing. I wouldn't say it in a political sense or anything like that. I'm saying you dehumanize thin people. You specifically, that specific person does it. You have to catch it. Why is it okay for her to use an anecdote but not a thin person? You can't let him get away with it. You just can't.
you're at fault for whatever issue you're
Oh,
having.
yeah, I
100.
You don't know that though. Unless if somebody's flat out telling you, I want to see it in writing or I want to see what you're talking about. If a doctor is like, hey, you should really consider this, how is that blaming you for every single health issue that you've ever had? And I want to start seeing evidence of the fat phobia in the doctor's office. I want them to start showing clips and stuff if they want to really be activists. Show the evidence. Show us what they're telling you. I want to see it because I feel like the definition of fat phobia, which I don't think is even a real thing, I told you. I think it's a term that only exists as toxic ritualistic reinforcement. Basically, it's just something that is meant to push people to stay in an E followed by letter D. But I want to see what these doctors are saying that is so awful. I want to see it. I need to see more concrete things. And it's not, okay, like, let's get you weighed in so we can check you in. That's not fat phobic. That's medical, it's medically relevant information. Well, it's not relevant. It is relevant because you can see a trend over time. It's a data point. Sweetheart, I'm gonna pull the Jillian. It's a data point, sweetheart.
100% of the time.
yeah. Have you thought about losing weight? Yeah, every day since I was 10.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah, you think I haven't you think I haven't if I
Okay, but thinking about something and doing it are two different things. So that doesn't mean anything. I mean, how many things do you think about every day that never happen?
Just do it. That's a great idea.
Ooh. I think, like, imagine if somebody just thought about being a billionaire every day. That doesn't mean that they are one. Or that doesn't mean that they actually are becoming one. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're thinking about it. If you think about flying every day, like having a superpower and flying, does that mean that you have it? It's like, no. Like, there's a difference between thought and action. That's stupid.
what the hell? Oh, what? Nobody ever told me that before.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting into zombie noises. Zombie noises at the end. But anyways, okay. I will talk to you guys later. I'm really tired. I had to work a lot. I had to do my other job a lot. So I'm tired. For my spiritual girlies and boilies, I have discovered today that I need to do a shit ton of root chakra work. My root chakra is fucked up. It's awful. So that's fun. And guess what? It doesn't have to do with my weight. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves if they were thin. Could you imagine having problems that don't have to do with your weight? Oh my gosh. What would you even do? What would they even do? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.